Hello, welcome to Hobby Hangout. I'm Sam, this is Big Nerds Wargaming, and today I am continuing my progress on Stern Guard Veterans. That's what I am painting today. This one I started 2 weeks ago, and I am continuing on with the squad. I think I got the scheme down, how I want to do things. So yeah, we're gonna continue on. I'm trying to batch paint these guys, otherwise I'll never finish if I just do them one at a time. So, continuing on, we're going to do the Abaddon Black. That's going to be all the body glove and gun casing bits. And if you're catching this video after it has already gone up, I do this usually every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time, where I paint something. Usually it's something different or an ongoing project, and I just kind of explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Some people find that helpful or interesting, entertaining, and we hang out and we chat, wargaming, Warhammer, all that good stuff. And if you're new to the channel, we do other things such as battle reports and painting tutorials, hobby discussion videos, and the like. And those we post every other week, usually on a Friday in the morning, so stay tuned for that as well. Okay, so I'm just mixing this up on my Vortex mixer here. Abaddon Black is the first color I am using. And I'm just going to grab a standard size brush here, as well as a junk brush I have. Always keep a junk brush on hand. They're great for dipping. Just get some of that on my wet pellet there. And we're off to the races. Alright, so I'm just using an Army Painter standard size brush here. And we're going to paint in all the body glove areas on the Marine, as well as blocking in some straps. I might go over those with brown later. I think I did brown on this guy, and I don't know if I like that for the belt, so I'm probably going to make it black, to be honest. So, maybe a black belt. So, Abaddon Black. There's a little bit of water in there. Get it to a consistency I like. And just gonna go ahead and paint those details. Yeah, these Stern Guard veteran models are pretty cool. I do like them. It's going to be silver, I think. I'm just going to paint it black for now, though. This big, heavy bolter gun. I think I finally got a good camera angle for this. Been trying a couple different approaches here, but I think this is a good one. So I'll try to keep it consistent going forward, or adjust it if it needs to. So just blocking in some base colors now, and then we'll do some power armor highlights and all that good stuff. One thing I do want to know is what we are all working on. So I'll drop a message in chat 1 second here. we go. The question is out. So just using Abaddon Black here, thinned down. Trying to get it in these body glove areas, kind of under the folds of some of these armor panels. Trying to be neat and not getting it on the blue power armor. As far as power armor base coats go, I did a black primer, and then I painted Cantor blue with the airbrush at like a perpendicular slash down to up angle, and then I did more of a zenithal with McCraig blue, kind of give it that nice gradient, you know, light to dark effect. So the Cantor blue and the black kind of stays more in the darker areas of the model, getting less light, and then the lighter McCraig blue shows up on top. It's a really quick, easy way to do base coats with an airbrush for Space Marine power armor, and you can save a ton of time. You get a really good looking effect too. So if you're not sure what to do with an airbrush, or if you're new to airbrushing, that's a great first kind of project to do, and I would highly recommend it. Alright, so these straps for the power pack hooks on, I'm going to also paint those black. And we will get rolling from here. So we got the inner body glove there, and nothing else. Oh, I got some of his belt here on the right. I'm gonna paint that black. It's a black belt. Astartes. And then I'm gonna paint these hoses black. Looks like I got this other hose here. I think maybe some hazard stripes would look cool on that. Perhaps. Like adding those little fun details. Hazard straps and hoses always look good. Just looking to get that black base coat down, block out some of these details, and then we'll go from there. Modern Warhammer just has so many details on the models. It is both a blessing and a curse. You get this whole gun casing here painted black. This is like a big, heavy bolter kind of weapon. I don't know what it's called. I just know the sound it makes when it takes a heretic's life. I completed one sergeant 2 weeks ago, as you can see on the table here next to my palette. So that is the scheme I am going for. And these guys I am painting in a sub-assembly because they're press fit, so it's really easy to do that. That way I can get around all their guns and get to all the details on their chest armor and the like. A little bit of more water mixed in here. Abaddon Black can be a color that is easy to over thin, I have found. It's about finding that right balance of water to paint. So I'm just kind of base coating this entire gun black, and then I'm gonna come back over with metallic later for the parts I want to be silver, but I just want to get that blue to not show. Otherwise you get kind of like a blue tint and hue to everything. Black is a better base coat to work with, and most of the color on this gun's gonna be black anyways, so. One disadvantage to priming with an airbrush: you can get really good effect on your armor, however, everything else kind of becomes your base coat color. So we got blue guns everywhere. That little nubbins. Alright. And do we have any missed body glove anywhere? Yeah, there's a little bit on this arm, which I will try to get filled in there. I'm not going to stress about this one too much because you can see there's some gray on this piece, which means that it's actually not visible once it's all put together. So, not going to worry about it too much. Alright, so that's one down. Maybe I'll do these guys in batches of 2. That way I'll have just one more batch after these 2 are done. So batch painting definitely is the way to go if you can do it. My opinion. It's the most efficient way to paint your minis, even though it can kind of feel like a grind sometimes. I know painting Space Marines and power armor is kind of a grind for me sometimes. Yet I'm perfectly happy painting dozens and dozens of Termagants. I don't know why. Maybe it's like cathartic. Let's give them a black belt here. And the pistol here, we're going to paint the handle black. So I think he's got some sort of combi, yeah, combi plasma weapon. So that'll be fun. I'll get to use the new war paint, army painter fanatic paint for the effect plasma coil glow. It's I'm really impressed with those new effect colors. They're pretty good. Starting to branch into some other paint brands besides Citadel. I do like Citadel paints though. I know a lot of people are very opinionated about them, hate the pots. I do like the paints and the colors, they're pretty nice. But starting to try some Pro Acryl, as well as the new Fanatic Army Painter stuff, which is pretty much night and day compared to their old line. So yeah, I've been enjoying those quite a bit. The joy of painting, one might say. And I'm just gonna try to get a little bit in here. Black. Alright. Pistol. Okay. Not much body glove showing. Oh, I got the straps. I gotta get straps here. Power pack hooks on too. Can't forget those. Alright. Well, he's got like a little ocular thing on his eye. I didn't notice that before. That's pretty cool. It's fun. Alright, so we got this ammo container thing on his jump pack. Not jump pack, power pack. Gonna paint that black for now. I think on the Sergeant I did that, yeah, bolt gun. Or lead belcher it's called now. Not bolt gun metal. That's an old school Citadel color name. So, go. And then on these two arms here, just gonna get the armpit here, the body glove color black. I'm gonna move on to some power armor highlighting after this. Perhaps some recess shading. Alright, gun. I'm gonna get a nice, good coat here. It's combi plasma. Just gonna cover up that base coat blue there from the airbrush. The last thing from my Leviathan box. These Stern Guard veterans. I want to get them done just so I can say that I finished everything in that box. It's already been out for a year. It's about this time last year I was painting the new Tyranids. And I didn't think I let it go this long without finishing the box. here I am, 1 year later, painting Space Marines. Although, to be fair, I'm pretty slow at painting Space Marines when it comes to, compared to other factions. I'm kind of going over them with a lot of detail, trying to make them look really nice. And there's just no way to really speed that process up. So it kind of just takes as long as it takes. Alright, so last time I used Tamiya panel liner for the recess shading on the armor, and I don't know if I liked that for some of these small cracks. It kind of flowed out of the cracks, and I wasn't a huge fan of that, so I think these recesses just aren't deep enough for that. So I'm going to just go ahead and use Nuln Oil and a fine brush and do it that way. Might get some better results. Alright, so we got the Nuln Oil. Keep this lid open. Jeez. Now it's open too far. Now I've done it. Hey man, appreciate the Crusade video. The Crusade Guide, Essential Crusade Guide video? Or the battle reports? Or both? Anyways, thanks for watching. Thank you for watching it, yes. And I'm glad you appreciate it. So I gotta grab a small brush here. Fine tipped. It's just kind of a cheapo brush from Amazon. Miniature painting brush. Very, very fine tip here. But this will be perfect for some recess shading. Just gonna get that in all these cracks here on the armor. It'll make the highlights look much better once I get to them. Haven't started the reports yet, but the How to Start Crusade helped a lot. Gonna start my own with a buddy over the fall. Awesome! I'm glad. So yeah, Crusade is a lot of fun. I have a local gaming group, and we all play weekly. And yeah, we have a lot of fun with it. What army do you play? Think about doing a follow-up guide to the Crusades, where I go into each of the armies' Crusade rules, kind of break those down. So it can be a little confusing, or may seem like extra rules on top of rules, but they can add a lot of fun flavor to a Crusade. Orcs and Imperial Fists. Nice. Yeah, and you can have a lot of fun with just even like 2 players in a Crusade. You don't have to have like a whole group. Obviously, the more the merrier, but it can be a lot of fun. And then, if you want to play games with like your other friends, you can do that too. They don't have to have a Crusade army. You just might have some enhancements that they don't, so they get some Crusade blessings to help try to balance it a little bit. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. The missions are a lot of fun. So I'm glad you're giving that a shot, and I hope you have fun with it too. Just trying to shade the helmet here a little bit. Those little vents. I have to come around again later once I paint the eyes. Just kind of doing a first pass shade here. Let's try to get this in focus, shall we? It's fine to focus on this guy back here, I bet. Actually, let me try to... Oh, I think I'm stuck with that. Alright. What I can do is zoom in more. Yeah, that's pretty helpful. Let's just get the side down the helmet. Your formulated Games Workshop washes are a little more inky than the old ones, which helps for doing things like this, I think. So it'll kind of want to naturally flow in the cracks, the crevasses. That is pretty much everything on his body there. I just got to do the arms and the gun pack. Not going to worry about the pauldrons just yet. But we'll just get a touch of recess shading on these panels here. To really just help things pop more later. It'll accentuate the highlights. Add some depth to the whole model. Hey, how go the blueberries? The blueberries go slow, per the usual. Do you go back over after? Yes. So I'm just trying to get these recesses shaded with Nuln Oil, and then I'm gonna go back over all these panels and highlight them. So we'll end up with something that looks like this. It's the end goal we're going for. But you can see here, like on his leg, kind of where the black fits in, and then kind of helps make those highlights pop more. Gorgeous. Thank you. I appreciate it. Just ever trying to get better at painting by doing some painting. Trying out new things. And since I got so many models to paint, I figured might as well start streaming it. And, you know, share what I know. And all that good stuff. Alright, everybody. What is on your hobby desk? This is a weekly thing. Yes, this is a weekly thing. I do this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. And then new videos I try to post to the channel bi-weekly. Sometimes more frequently than that, but usually on Fridays. A new video goes up every other week. But yeah, I try to do this every Tuesday evening. Just a little extra bonus hangout chat. See what I'm working on. All the good stuff. We have a good time in here. Sometimes we chat movies, wargaming. Everything hobby related. The last time I did this, I used Tamiya panel liner, and maybe my pen just didn't have a fine enough tip, but I wasn't super impressed with it. I think it worked fine for a vehicle, something that scale, but infantry, it seems I need something a little bit more delicate, so just going back to Nuln oil and a brush, and I think this is working out just fine. Get this focused. There we go. Sometimes my camera doesn't focus the way I want it to. So I'll try to keep an eye on the picture and make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm hoping to prime and Zenithal 10 Guardians, 10 Storm Guardians, some Wind Riders, a Warlock on bike. But if I have time, Kendras and Scorps too. Oh, you got quite the Eldar project, Travis. Currently working on 5 Intercessors. Nice. Intercessors. You said Imperial Fists, right? Or no? Oh, that was the other guy I was talking to. Vincent, what chapter of Space Marines? I am ever so curious. Salamanders. Ooh, good. Nice. I like the salamanders. Buddy of mine, Collins, he plays salamanders on occasion when he's not playing Chaos, Nurgle, Death Guard. Yep, I'm just a basic Ultramarines player. How do you like assembling Aldari? The Dire Avengers are... they're okay to assemble. The new Guardians aren't bad. The Corsairs are... they're fine. They all have, like, the capes. So I like to do those as a sub-assembly, so it gets a little annoying to work with. But it makes painting so much easier if you do it that way. Some of the older Eldar stuff is frustrating, I know. New kits are amazing, old kits are old kits. But the resin is bad, yes. The resin is so bad. Like, I have some warp spiders, but I only got them because they came in a lot that I purchased secondhand from someone. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have bought them. Also, I have some older Dark Reapers in that lot too. I have some new ones too, which I need to build still. But yeah, the resin kits are so bad. It's almost like better to just wait until they refresh the model. I refuse to buy any more resin GW. I've been printing the stuff instead. Yeah. There's actually some really cool proxies. The fire drakes. The guys that the flamer Melta guys. The orange ones. I don't have any of those, but I want to get some. But I don't want to buy the resin models because they suck. So think about either just waiting for them to do a refresh or find a good proxy alternative model and use that. Kendra's ones I bought are gorgeous. I need to get them painted. Yeah. Yeah, 3D printing is kind of a game changer. If you don't like that model design, find one you do like. I have a printed gargantuan squigoth that is my pride and joy until I save enough to get the actual model. Yeah, I 3D printed a great unclean one proxy. Really cool model. And I painted that up for a friend. That was a lot of fun. I'm currently 3D printing, well, I say currently, it's a side project. I'm kind of 3D printing a Imperial Guard army, Death Corps of Krieg. And I'm using the Station Forge Grim Guard models from they sell them on my mini factory, but those are pretty nice proxies. Super happy about those. The gun batteries for those look amazing. The Grimguard ones? I also have 120 boys to paint up. 3D printing saved me so much. Woo! Yeah, they do. That's a lot of boys. Yeah, it kind of gives us a new problem. We are 3D printing a pile of shame. Alright, so I'm going to use Altdorf Guard Blue for my first highlight pass. Build up some light color there, and then move on to Calgar Blue, and a little bit of Fenrisian Gray. Or, Rust Gray. Yeah, Fenrisian Gray. I get those two mixed up. Alright, so Altdorf Guard Blue for the first highlight pass. Now I'm just going to do this with a standard size brush. Get a chunky, I call it a chunky highlight. I think I've heard others use that term too. I'm going to get this nice and thin down. Get a nice point on the brush. Don't want too much water. It's a fine balance. And then I'm just going to come in and go along the edges here. Trying to do it clean. Now we're rocking. I need to get working on my Elder, doing for them for probably Nexus Crusade starting next month. Hard to balance that and the woofs. Yeah, multiple army problems. I hear you there. I still want to finish my Knights, but I figured people were getting sick of seeing me paint Imperial Knights non-stop, so going to something a little bit more accessible for tonight, Space Marines. Then I got a bunch of Gene Stealer Cult I need to paint, and Eldar. Among other things. It just never ends. Those highlights on there. This is going to get a little tricky going under the kneecap here. So this part always takes forever, but the results look great. And I like to think it's worth the effort. There we go, one leg is done. Alright, so we got some plastic here, which means that you won't see that, so I'm not going to worry about that. Let's get the other leg. Yeah, because I primed these guys all assembled, you can see where the where you're not going to see anything because it's still plastic color. So I'm just not even going to paint that. Not even going to worry about it. And focus my effort where it actually matters. I'm trying to do this first highlight pretty clean, but if it gets a little sloppy, I'm not going to worry about it too much because the second and third pass I do later will be more fine, and it'll kind of blend these all together in a nice kind of gradient. Yeah, so I like 3D printing. I print a lot of terrain. I have the problem of acquiring a lot of terrain files and then realizing, oh, I need to actually print this. And then I print it and I say, oh, I actually have to paint this too. But yeah, it really opens up a lot of doors and opportunities for some really cool looking tables. Some really awesome terrain, especially like Xenos themed terrain. Like last week I was painting a Necron terrain. That stuff is really cool. Highlight here on the chest piece. This collar here, I don't know what you call this, what the official word is for this. The bib. Alright, so for the face, I'm just going to try to get this ridge here a little bit above the eyes. Down the side here. This raised ridge out above the ear. Don't want to overdo it. And kind of follow this line going up the side of the helmet. Take a deep breath here. There we go, not too shabby. Let's get this these panels down here, covering his rump. Alright, just gotta get the arms in the power pack. This guy, and then we got one more Marine. This batch. Just gotta follow the shape of the hand here. Really focusing on the most raised areas pointing out. This kind of gets dark over there, so I'm not even going to worry about it. I have some selective highlighting here. Get this ridge going over the elbow. Coming out there. Nice. Not bad. And we'll just get these fingers a little bit. Glue those up a little bit. What is the video for this week? The video is a surprise. Just kidding. It's another Pariah Nexus Crusade battle report. It is a very interesting game with Andrew, Necrons versus, you're gonna have to wait and see. There, hopefully I've teased it enough and it sounds fun. Is it orcs? No, it's not orcs. There is one with orcs though. That was a really fun game too. I think that's the third one, orc one. So, something about Space Marines, I hate painting power packs. I don't know why. I think it's just the shape. They're annoying, the highlight. I'm just over it, you know? These look like intercessors? Question? Stern guard. Close. Their Primaris something. Ah, fancy bolter bros. Yep. They all got combi whatsits and fancy, yeah, like what you said, fancy bolter bros. That's a good term. I might have to start using that. The veteran Fancy Boulder Bros. Alright, so that was 1 on the first pass. Here's number 2 on the first pass. This is such a grind. I mean, it's such a grind. But I like the way it looks too much to not do it. That's my problem. So I kind of like dread painting them. But just gotta get it done. Alright, I've done 1. Maybe I can go a little bit faster this time. We'll see. Yeah, Marines I think I can do in batches of no more than 5, but lately I've been doing like 3. And these guys I'm doing them in 2s. Minus the sergeant, who's pretty much done. Just gonna tweak a couple things on him, and the sergeant will be done. But yeah, this is my last Leviathan unit. The launch box. It's not painted yet. So I just kind of want to finish it, you know? I do have some additional Tyranids from that set, but I'm not going to count those because I did finish a complete Tyranid half already. So. And then some. I had to batch the Wolfen sets of 2 and 3. It was too much detail trying to do a batch of 10. I felt like making no progress. Yeah, it just gets kind of depressing. I will say, when you do a really big batch, though, and you finish it, you feel like on top of the world. Yeah, but some of the steps, it's just like, it's too much. Gotta find ways to do this faster. It's always sad when you have a really beautifully painted army and you have to start pulling dead models. Spend all this time painting, and then they just die. And then there's the whole new model syndrome. Every new model is completely cursed the first time you put it on the table. Every time. Works like a charm. Get the bib. What is this thing called in front of the helmet? I don't know what it's called. I know it has a name. I know it's not the bib. Gorget. Yes, it is. It's a gorget, or kind of like a gorget, I think. That sounds right. Although I think a gorget is technically like a plate that hangs from your neck, but it's kind of, I think it serves the same purpose as a gorget. But yeah, I think that is the word I was thinking of. Another power pack. That was a clean, fast highlight. Sometimes you take a little risk and go fast and it works out. Just get a little bit on the sides here. Side. Alright, we got the arms, and I can move on to the next color. That'll be fun. New colors are fun. A little bit of an edge highlight there on the elbow pad. Do the bolter arm next. Just gonna kind of get the hand here, pick that out. Some fingers. Edge of these panels going on the arm. Elbow pad. Alright. Next highlight color is going to be Helgar Blue. I want to try a Judiciar in-game, but I need to kit bash one. I was thinking about using 2 axes instead of a sword. That could be cool. Those are pretty good. They give the unit fight first, I believe. Is that correct? Alright, next color, I'm going to use a smaller brush. Use a size 2/0. I don't know what that means, but that's the brush I'm using. So you can't really... You can see the highlights a little bit, but now we're going to go over with another color, Helgar Blue. It's a little bit lighter. A little bit thinner highlights, and build on top of that thicker initial pass and make it pop. Pop, pop. A little bit lighter than our Altdorf Guard Blue. So, using this nice thin brush here. Just gonna mix some water in here, get a good thin consistency. Don't want it too thick. I also don't want it too thin. Just right. And do a pass like that. Under the knees is a little tricky, especially when the ridge isn't super well defined. But keeping it nice and thin in consistency helps it blend in with the first pass highlight that I did, without it coming out too opaque. Excuse me. And then, yeah, just layering it in there. And then you can kind of focus on more of the more raised areas and the hard edges mostly. You don't have to go over everywhere where the first layer was done. So kind of, they work together. So like here, you know, we'll get the edge. And maybe this top ridge here a little bit on the foot. And then like this circle bit on the foot, we'll just get this back edge here a little bit. And here it's kind of really standing out. This got his foot on the rock, so we'll highlight this line a little bit as it's going back. And back here similarly. Using the edge of my brush, get a nice highlight there on those ridges that are sticking out. Makes it a little easier. So there, those are looking good for that leg. And then each highlight pass goes quicker than the last, which is kind of hopeful, you know. Get that corner there. This leg is kind of sticking out as well, so I'll try to get a good pass here. these knee pads. Already starting to look a bit better there. Get along this lower edge. Get the outer edge of this gorget. We determined that's what it's called. And these ridges on the helmet. Brow lines, front vents. Must focus. There we go. Second pass on this body is done. Get the arms real quick. So we got this hand. So I'm gonna get this edge here along his hand. Top of the hand. Trying not to go over everywhere I did before. Trying to layer it on. So I get a nice gradient from dark to light. And then make it pop. Acceptable. And here in the power pack, we're just going to get these really obvious lines. Down this way. Oh, that's kind of sloppy. If you're working with really thin paint, you can kind of wipe it away with your thumb before it dries. Quick, easy way to fix a mistake. Sometimes I want to collect the second Space Marine chapter, but then I remember how much I hate painting power armor. It's a love-hate relationship, really. Alright, this one I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. So starting with this helmet, get along the rebreather. That brow. Slowly adding light and shadow. I don't know what color I'm going to make this Oculus piece. Probably silver. Oops, it's coming off his base. Get these hard ridges. On the gorget and down. Highlight that breastplate a little bit. Kneecaps down. Any horror movie fans out there? I just saw a movie this weekend. I believe it was opening weekend for it. It's called Long Legs. Kinda eerie movie. A little unsettling. It was good though. I think I liked it. Had our boy Nick Cage in it. Is it about spiders? No, it's not. It's about a fictitious serial killer. It's kind of a FBI manhunt kind of movie. But it has a lot of like slow burn atmosphere, unsettling build-up and vibes to it. I went into it knowing nothing about it. My wife wanted to see it, so we went and saw it. But yeah, it was interesting. I liked it. Had kind of a paranormal twist to it. So it wasn't just like, oh yeah, we gotta hunt the killer kind of movie. There's a little bit more to it than that. Otherwise, it'd seem a little kind of vanilla, you know? But yeah, it does sound like it's about spiders. Long legs. Almost done with this armor pass. Just gotta do his hands. I can do the final color on the armor highlight. Oh, my neck. I'm hunched over my desk here. Probably lower myself just a little bit. Painting ergonomics are important, but not important enough for me to actually figure out what to do. I think I've heard sitting lower and having the surface kind of higher helps. So you're kind of hunched over less, a little bit more natural pose. Your arms are kind of higher up. I don't know. I paint on like a workbench in my basement utility room. So it's kind of like bar height. It's just a standard computer chair, so it's a little bit short to begin with, which I think helps a little bit with finding a comfortable height for painting. I have a standing desk. There's just a height for the airbrush and different height for brush. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. Yeah, my office upstairs has a standing desk. But I have too much computer stuff up there and I won't be able to fit my painting set up there. Although sometimes if I get sick of hanging out in the cold basement, especially in the summertime, it's really cold down here, I'll grab whatever model I'm working on and take it upstairs and assemble it with some sunlight. Yeah, I mean, people who can paint with a window have it real nice. Alright. Kelgar Blue is done. I can go to Fenrisian Gray. I use a small brush for that, the one I did the panel recess shading with. And we're gonna start highlighting this armor even more. I'm obviously putting too much paint on my palette. For how little I'm actually using. I always have that problem. I'll try just a little dull. Now I want a spotted cow. Yes. I bet you do. Mmm. It's so good. I need it to help me get through this power armor edge highlighting schlag. So for the Fenrisian Gray, I do a little bit more targeted highlighting. I don't just apply it everywhere. There we go, lightened up the helmet. Zoom this in a bit. The better to see you with. Come on, focus. Just a little bit of highlight there on the pectoral. We'll get the top of this knee brace. Trying to keep it really thin. Ideally. That's what makes it look the best. When you layer it over all these darker highlights. So mainly where there's a really sharp edge or like a corner, that's usually the best spot to do this really light color. And making sure it's nice and thin so it flows easily. And it's not too opaque. There. That's looking pretty good. River with Stein it is. Hey, that's like my go-to whenever I go out somewhere. Good, solid beverage. Shoulder pads. Not as clean as I would prefer, but I will accept it and carry on. Done is better than perfect. Alright. That didn't take too long. One more Marine. They can paint something besides blue. That'll be exciting. I start working on those robes next. I definitely mixed paint last time I painted the sergeant. I need to figure out how I did the robe. A little bit of reverse engineering. I suppose I could go back to that stream and scrub through the footage. One benefit of live streaming this is you can go back and see what I did for some color schemes. I'm just kind of messing around. Consistency is kind of hard sometimes. Trying to get a consistent paint consistency. It's either too runny or too dry. Just making this color a little challenging. Did I get his helmet? No, I don't think I did. Rebreather above the eye, just a little bit. Yeah, uh-huh. Alright, another body done. Just gotta do the arms and guns on this guy. And then the highlights will be done on these two guys. It'll be a glorious thing. A little thick. Not as thick as I wanted it to be. I might just have to accept it. Go. Get some more water. Power pack. Yeah, buddy. Alright, power pack is done. Now I can move on to a new color. And that new color is going to be Rakarth Flesh. Just to get a base coat on the robes. And then I will go up from there. So I think I did Rakarth Flesh. Maybe a mix of that and Ushadi Bone? Definitely some Wraith Bone in there. It's really hard to tell. But I'll see if I can figure it out. I know I definitely did a base coat of Rakarth Flesh though, so I'm gonna start there. I will use a bigger brush for that. Because the non-sergeant's a different color. I could. That is also an option. To be very careful not to paint the arm. As I said that, I literally just got paint on the underleg. Fixed it. We're good. Hate to see it, you know? Spend all this work doing highlights and then one little slip up. And the whole piece is ruined! Maybe not quite that bad, but it feels that way in the moment. So I was able to catch that with a clean brush, just dipped it in some water and kind of wicked away the paint before it dried. Oh, you know, I didn't do any highlights on the belt buckle. Might have to go back and do that. trying to get away with a big brush here, as big of a brush as I can, just to make sure I can get a nice good coverage on this base coat. Paint this whole crux, so get the robe behind there. So it's kind of fun. It's flowing around in an interesting way. Go. We got this bit here in the front. I do like robed Marines. They look cool. Kind of a little bit more to paint, but the Blade Guard veterans, I think they look really cool. Their big shields. Black Templars would be fun as well. They have a lot of robes. I have to... Oh. Painted my Blade Guard vets like 90% during that paint challenge. I need to finish them. They're still staring at me on my desk, judging. Yes. They're like, finish me! Yeah, the painting challenge. I think we're going to do another one. I've been meaning to stoke the Discord server about that. I got a lot painted those 30 days. I'm gonna do another coat. This first one's dry. I started really strong, and then real life made the last few weeks a struggle. Still had 20-30 minutes at least. Hey, it's amazing how those little sessions add up if you can do it consistently. So I usually paint like 1 or 2 nights a week. Tuesday being one of them. And then if I'm not doing too much over the weekend, I'll sneak in sometimes a good block of time over the weekend. Like I painted my whole Imperial Night over 4th of July weekend, that Saturday and Sunday, which is nice. But yeah, if you can just sneak in a little bit here, a little bit there, it really adds up And then you'll have painted models in no time. I totally busted this guy's off his peg here, so I think I'm just gonna have to glue him. Glue his peg back. Yeah. Actually, I don't want to do that because I want to paint his base, so I just gonna have to hold him by hand. Dirty him up with my fingers. Oh well. It's cold down here. Giving me the sniffles. Alright. Get this other robe base coated here. I'm like super curious. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I did for the robe. So I really like the way it turned out. I'm half tempted to pull up my stream and try to see what I did. Easy does it. I take this guy off his... There we go. Without breaking his peg. Yep, I think finishing this unit is going to take another couple streams. think after I finish this base coat here, I might call it a night. Making some pretty decent progress on 2 of these Marines. Got all the edge highlights done on their power armor. Recessed shading. Body glove. And then the base coat on their robes. Just don't want any blue showing through. It's pretty good. Let's double check this guy. Yeah, I think I could do another pass on him. Just one more layer here. Just don't want any blue showing through. Kind of really ruins the vibe. One more pass here. On the bathrobe. Oh, I got reckless. I got careless. Made a mistake. Must fix. Got it. We're good. Close call. Alright, well, we're coming up on 9 o'clock. Good solid 2-hour painting session here. And I am pretty happy with the progress I've made thus far. So, I think I am going to call it a night. And I'll pick these guys up next time I stream. Probably finish off these 2. And then I'll just have these 2 guys left for a future. Or maybe I'll paint those on my own. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out and watching tonight. And hope you all have a wonderful evening. And that you can also paint your models and get your stuff done. Because painted models are way more fun to play with. Alright, well, thank you all for hanging out. So, catch you next time. Bye.